brightness gleaming, to cheer the wanderer lone and tempest-tossed. No storms can hide that radiance peaceful beaming, since Jesus came to seek and save the lost. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible when my heart is broken, when sin and grief have filled my soul with fear. Give me the precious words by Jesus spoken. Hold up faith's lamp to show my Savior near. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible, all my steps enlighten, teach me the dangers of these realms below. That lamp of safety o'er the gloom shall brighten, that light alone the path of peace can show. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible, lamp of life immortal, hold up the splendor by the open grave. Show me the light from heaven's shining portals, show me the glory gilding Jordan's wave. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Break thou the bread of life, dear Lord, to me, as thou didst break the loaves beside the sea. Beyond the sacred page, I seek thee, Lord. My spirit pants for thee, O living word. Bless thou the truth, dear Lord, to me, as thou didst bless the bread by Galilee. Then shall all bondage cease, all fetters fall, and I shall find my peace, my all in all. Good afternoon. How are we all doing? One viewer today. And I've got Ezra in the background on my tech support, although I'm not sure I'm going to need much tech support. Now, he had to go with his mother this morning. I hope he did a good job. I think he's just trying to get out of helping his sister with the biscuits. Did you get the tagging done, son? Oh, my one viewer disappeared. Tis a lovely day. Tis a lovely day. I think it's a lovely day. Isn't it a lovely day out? Don't forget to add the spaces between the words there, bud. It's Noontime Nuggets, and I'm your host, the old prospector. We're waiting for Facebook to build our audience, obviously. If it will. Well, that's an awful small list for how long you've been working at it there, buddy. Buddy. You know, all you have to do is hit the @ sign, right? And then the first letter of their name, maybe first 2 or 3 letters of their name. It might end up being a rather short Noontime Nuggets today. So we wait. We wait. You know what I'll do? Refresh the page. Aha. Share. Oh, I gotta do it this way. There. Any more tags coming up, Ezra? Because that's not all the lists that you have over there, bud. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump into it, whether there's anybody here or not. There be gold in these pages, so let's examine the vein that we're going to be examining today, which is Ecclesiastes 10. Let's examine the vein and dig for gold. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking vapor savor. So doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. Yea, also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to every one that he is a fool. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding pacifieth great offenses. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Whoso removeth stones shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby. If iron be blunt, and he do not whet the edge, then must he put to more strength. But wisdom is profitable to direct. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be, and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? The labor of the foolish wearieth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go to the city. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season, for strength and not for drunkenness. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answers all things. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber, for a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter. Hello, Vera. Good to have you with us. There's some more. So the nuggets we can find today in our gold hunt is beginning with verse 1. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. The apothecary, of course, being one who made perfumes. Those who made the perfumed oil that, for example, one would be anointed with. They're also the ones that would process things like might considered those who did the pressing of the oils and stuff. But we all know how dead flies are going to cause the ointment. They're going to pervert the ointment. They're going to get in there, they're going to rot and decay and make it to stink. Well, so does a little folly cause him who that had a reputation for wisdom and honor, causes a little folly causes his reputation to go down the drain. Make sure then that in doing what you can, doing God's will, in being as wise as you can be, that you don't give in to the temptation to do something stupid. It reminds me of what Peter said in. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, here it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. For it is better if the will of God be so that ye suffer for well doing than for evil doing. For Christ also hath once suffered for sins, for the just for the unjust. It's better for us to suffer for well doing rather than for evil. Notice here what Peter says in the previous verses. And if you suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye. And be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled, but sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Christ. When we live according to the word, when we live according to God's law and his will, when we have that good conscience, make sure that we maintain that good reputation. Don't be like the fool of Ecclesiastes 10:1, the wise person who gave in to a little folly, the honorable person who gave in to a little dishonor. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against you, don't leave your place. Because even though you yield, you may pacify great offenses. Are you right or are you wrong? Leave not your place. Don't forget your place is another way to also look at this passage. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against you, don't forget your place. He's the ruler. Yielding pacifies great offenses. Remember your place. And I think that's a better way to view this particular passage. The evil that Solomon saw in life without God is that folly is set in great dignity and the rich sit in low place. There is at a point where people or society comes to the point where dignity is given to stupidity. And there's also the place, the point wherein the rich are set in such disesteem that this is an error. and it proceeds from the ruling, from whoever's ruling. If the ruler gives ear unto folly and gives them a place of honor, that's an error. That's an evil. If the ruler turns and bites the hand of those who are helping pay his projects, if you will, if he divides and starts a class warfare, that's an evil. Solomon says, I've seen servants upon horses while princes walked as servants upon the earth. And this is all together there. Servants upon horses while princes walked as if they were the servants. Again, don't forget your place. But also remember that we should not be giving honor and esteem to stupidity. Nor should we just be simply downgrading those who, well, we really shouldn't be downgrading anybody. But according to this passage, we shouldn't be downgrading those who are rich as in denigrating, I should say, those who are rich, looking down upon them. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh a hedge, a serpent shall bite him. At some point in time, if you're digging a hole, if you're not careful, you're going to fall into it. If you're not watching when you take out a hedge, you're going to be bitten by a serpent. Be careful. Don't be careless. If you're picking up stones and throwing them out, you're going to, and you have a huge chance to be hurt by those stones. If you're sitting there chopping down trees, you are endangered by the tree coming down. Not only that, you're endangered by the axe. You know, the axe head might fly off and hit you. He that cleaveth wood shall be endangered. 8 and 9 go together, as does number 10. And listen to the wisdom here. If the iron be blunt and he does not whet the edge, that is, and he doesn't sharpen the edge, then must he put more strength to use it. Wisdom is profitable to direct. I'm interested about that word direct. Anybody know that one? There we go. Wisdom helps one to succeed. Wisdom is profitable to direct. In other words, the wisdom is just like that sharpening stone, that whetstone. It helps one to succeed. Just like the sharpening stone helps the axe to cleave the wood. Two things that are the same. A serpent bites without an enchantment, and so does a babbler, someone who can't restrain their mouth. You're going to be bit by them, by trusting in them. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. It kind of goes along with the saying, you know, it's better to be thought a fool than to open one's mouth and remove all doubt. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, so is the end. It's mischievous madness. The labor of the foolish wearieth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to even go to the city. Another big point of truth. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. Out here in the country, and Vera, you may have seen it as you pass through the country up there in Michigan as well. We have farmhouses that are sitting empty. And you can watch and you can see that house go from a very beautiful, well-kept house to within 3 years or so, it's shambles. 5 years, you see sagging starting to happen. 10 years, it's gone. Because people are not taking care of it. Nobody's there. The same thing is true. There's one house on my, well, there's more than one house on my route, but there's one house on my route that this holds especially true. It used to be a very pretty house. And over the course of the last 12 years, the folks that live in it have not been keeping up the outside of it, at least. And so what you see is porches that are falling through. Just they're sagging. The roofs on them are sagging to the point of where they're ready to come off. I watched over the last 12 years is another building that was on there decayed and fell in. The same principle holds true for our spiritual life. By much slothfulness, the building decays. Through idleness of hands, the house droppeth through. If you are not strengthening your house, if you're not keeping up your spiritual body, your building, the temple of God, that is you, decays. And you leave. And when you leave the Lord, the house droppeth through. Vera says we have that even on the city up there. Vacant houses decay so quickly. I imagine that would be a very quick one there. That's not the principle so much here. It is a good principle, CJ, but that's not necessarily the principle of 10:18. It's remember Solomon's dealing in principles, and he's talking about upkeep. As we go through here in 19, I think 19 is a good segue. What you said is a good segue into 19. But what we're talking about, what 10:18 is talking about, is keeping up. I know you are. Nothing like coming in on the conversation halfway through, is there? But by much slothfulness, the building decays because nobody's taking care of it. They're lazy. What does Paul call us? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit which is in you, which ye have of God, and you are not your own? Glorify God in your body. I'm skipping into verse 20. And in your spirit, which are God's. Matthew chapter 7. We talk about this. We even have a song about this. Build your house on the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock. Same thing, same principle here. Jesus says, whosoever heareth the sayings of mine and doeth them is going to be a wise man who builds his house upon a rock. The foundation was firm, and the house stood firm. But those who don't do his sayings are a foolish people, building their houses upon the sand. The rain descends, the floods came, the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall thereof. Don't build your house on the sandy land. Don't build it too near the shore, for it might be kind of nice, but you'll have to build it twice. Yes, you'll have to build your house once more. You got to build your house on the rock. You got to build your house on a solid spot, for the rains may come and go, but you'll have faith because you know. All right, back to Ecclesiastes, chapter 10. Get your hand out of my face. So you and me, the principle of Ecclesiastes 10, verse 18, is that we need to keep up our spiritual bodies, our spiritual house. Stop being lazy about it. I'm not saying that I don't know that you personally are, but stop being lazy about keeping up your house if you are. Let's be repairing the damage that much time lazing about has caused. When we were sinners, caught up in the sins of the world and of the flesh, we had so much decay creep into our house, our spiritual house. It's time to restore that house, make it into the beautiful temple of God, a temple fit for God. 1 Corinthians 9:24. Let's look. Know ye not that they which run a race, that's actually what I was kind of looking for, CJ, in my head. I just couldn't bring it up. They all run, but only one receives the prize. Well, you need to run that you may obtain. Every man strives for mastery, that striveth for mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do so to obtain a corruptible crown. We do so, we strive for the mastery, for an incorruptible. Therefore I run, not uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, not as one that was, shadow boxing. No. I keep my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be cast away. In 1 Corinthians 9:24-27 is a perfect fit for Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 18. Which I'm going to go back in and I'm going to put it there because I want to make sure that anytime I come up there, I remember that. 1 Corinthians, thank you, buddy. 9:24-27. And also put in the Matthew 7. What was that one? 20. Yes, I'm still alive. And yes, I'm still live. I'm still alive and live. What was that one? Matthew 7 something. Yeah, I think it was 24, 25. I'll change that if it's not. Hmm. 24-27. Isn't it crazy how some of these really line up perfectly and seem to mirror the exact same references? Okay. So here's our thing. Our thing is this: by much slothfulness the building decays, through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. We ourselves need to keep our spiritual house, our spiritual building up. There are times when we need to put new siding on. There's time when we need to put new roofs on. There is time when we need to go in and put in new windows. And we need to sweep out the dust and wash the floors. We need to repair the holes in our floors. We need to clean the walls and remove the sin out of our life. Get rid of the old furniture, the furniture that is unprofitable for us, and put in the new furniture. What you gonna say, CJ?
Well, what was the 1 Corinthians 6? I'm trying to make a comment with the cross references.
6, 19, and 20.
Thank you.
Yep. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answers all things. In a worldly sense, that's true. What is a feast for? For a good time, right? What is wine for? For a good time, right? But you know what? There comes a time when you got to pay the piper. There comes a time when you've got to settle accounts and pay the bills. Our life is to be more than just a feast and a drunken reveling. We got to step up and carry out our responsibilities. Ten verse 20, as we get ready to finish out our little noontime nuggets there. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, don't even curse the rich in your bedchamber. Why? For a little bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter. You know, how did you know? Don't start that again, CJ. Don't start that again. How did you know? They ask. Well, a little birdie told me. You ever heard that one? Well, the thing of the matter is that even if you curse the king in your thought, it's going to carry through in your action, and eventually one of these days you're going to let slip something you shouldn't have let slip, and it's going to get where it shouldn't have gotten, because you shouldn't have thought it in the first place. Don't even curse the rich in your bedchamber, because you never know who's listening outside the door. You don't know who's listening outside the window. You don't know who's passing by. For a bird of the air, you'll never know who it was that you likely never know who it is that told on you, but it shall be told. James chapter 3, guard your tongue. The preacher says, guard your thought, guard your tongue. Jesus said, guard your thought. It's not what a man eats, it's what comes out of his mouth. Thank you, CJ. James says, guard your tongue. As we consider these nuggets, and these are big nuggets, these are not so little tiny little flakes, these are nuggets. Matthew 15:20. for our consideration as we get ready to put them in our jars. Let us remember the Lord in the days of our youth while we're still able. And that's a spoiler alert for chapter 12. One of these days, we'll no longer be able to prospect. And we'll stand before the judge, the great assessor, the great assayer, with our jar full of nuggets or lack thereof. What nuggets will you provide to the King on high? Remember, there be gold in them pages. Thanks for being with us and for digging. We'll see you in the next adventure. God bless.